going through, Gary and I decided was it April, that we really wanted to bring our skills together. We are very complementary in how we teach and how we communicate with people. We did an event in Dallas in November, another one in September, received tons of compliments, not only on our content, but also our teaching style and how much we bring to each other. And that is when we decided that we wanted to expand and impact those in our circles. And so we created what we call the 100K Impact Business Development and Coaching Program. With business owner challenges out there, you know what it's like, where you're frustrated when you're seen as the same as your competitors. You attract the wrong clients over and over, if you're attracting any clients at all. You're running out of time, doing too much, maybe not enough of the right things, and you know it, but you're clueless on how to change that and how to market yourself differently. Some other challenges are that you're not as profitable as you would like to be and as you know you could be. People are constantly asking you for advice, but you're not charging for it. It's just part of what you do. You don't know how to set your fee, even if you were a coach or you were going to charge for that. And you don't have a second set of eyes on your business. That's one of the things I realized when I hired Gary as my own personal business coach, that having that second set of eyes was really key in me growing and developing in the last 2 years that I've been working with him.
Well, and I think it's really, a shame that so many coaches are out there, whether you're established or if you're just getting started, really are not getting the return on the investment of time, energy, and money. And everyone is looking at it as a great profession, and it is. But it's a little bit of an infancy. And so the tweaking of it to where it can actually be a impact on you and your family economically is a direct reason why we're doing this as well. Because we're finding that people that go into the coaching industry speaking, whether or not it's just facilitating a meeting or whatever, that we really do care about people. And that's why sometimes we do get into trouble, because we're giving ourselves away, and there is a big value there for us.
Yes. So one of the things that several things that we've looked at in creating the 100K Impact Program is that key thing is to develop your personal brand that really elevates you above your competition and attracts your ideal customer. A personal brand is about who you are. It's not about who Gary says you are or Tonja says you are, but it's really about developing that unique market position for yourself. Focusing on the right activities, actually having a blueprint so that you can grow your business and lead a balanced life. PK, you were talking about your grandchildren and things that you want to do, and how do we design our business so that we can have that? I know as a single mom of 3 teenagers, that is something that I'm always looking at, is how am I going to design my business this year? Because every school year things change for me. And so creating that fluid blueprint and aligning your business and your personal life. When we can align and stop that push-pull between business and our personal life, we always end up having greater impact. Know how to set your fees. Know right where your sweet spot is in your fees. And this is something that Gary is great at. He's been in the industry for over 12 years, really understands the different markets that are out there and what value you bring and how to position that. Increasing your perceived value for your services and speaking engagements through the certification program, if you choose to do that, to become certified as an impact coach and receive that CIC designation.
And even during this program, as a person is in it, you're able to use as a part of the value of the program, the CIC or this impact coach candidate. And so you're able to actually attach to that additional perceived value right from the beginning of the program.
And the program. And removing the glass ceiling for yourself. One of the things that we bring into the program is a process that I created several years ago called the manifesting process, and working with Gary's get statements, which really expand the amount that you're willing to receive for the services you offer and give you a bigger sense of your business and who you are in the business. So if you've been stuck at a particular level, you can now read that. And then the opportunity to mastermind with peers and receive expert coaching and consulting. This is a program that is hands-on, where we are with you every step of the way so that you are not navigating on your own, trying to figure out what to do. There's an accountability structure, calling on people outside of you. So you finally have not only that second set of eyes on your business, but a third and fourth set. And you really can start to mastermind to create the kind of business that you've been looking for. What is 100K Impact? We've talked about it a little bit. It's an elite 12-month business mastery and mindset program. Gary, you want to share about that?
You know, one of the things that I have found in coaching clients over the 7 countries and throughout the U.S. is that it really does take a 12-month process to be able to not only take in the information, but to be able to use it. And it's what I call a gestation period. Because as we plant seeds, we really don't know when the results are going to come in from that. And over the 12 months, we want you to not only have the information, but have the experience of using that information. So when you graduate from this program, you will have that elite status as someone that has gone through a program that gives you the information and also the tactic, the ability to use it during that time with us as the leaders to be able to give you that additional benefit that way as well.
It's not only business development, it's also personal development. And so it is a hands-on training program where you are immersed with not only Gary and I leading a call once a week, 3 weeks out of a month, but also with your peers and in your mastermind so that you can fully develop yourself through this 12-month program.
Part of this came out of people asking me to really train and teach what I have done in my business as well as the coaching. And as Tonja and I have come together, we have found the blend of what she has done to build her business, the manifesting side and the personal development. This is a natural marriage, but virtually what we're doing is taking everything that we have done and now giving it to you for you to customize to fit your personality, your market, your goals, desires, so that you can get predictable results in your business.
And it's really designed to add that income stream that exceeds $100,000 a year or more. What we found is most people will have that golden carrot for themselves, which is to achieve 6-figure income status. So whether you already have a business that's producing that much or more, and you want to add an additional income stream of coaching or some other product development, that is what the program is designed for. And then we also not only look at the achieving or exceeding $100,000 a year, but also how do you impact 100,000 or more people? Because impact, influence, income, they all go together. And for many of us, we're looking for a coaching certification so that this is what we were talking about earlier, where you can become a certified impact coach, receive that CIC designation. And as this program continues to grow and develop, you'll be always included with an alumni group on Facebook and other platforms. And it offers that peer-to-peer and group coaching led by Gary Barnes and Tonja Waring, who you know as. Gary, why don't you share a little bit about yourself? You're so amazing.
Well, you know, over the years, I started out in psychology and theology in school. and I went into business because I found myself in a square peg in a round hole type thing. Went into real estate for 9 years, and then established one of the very first financial planning firms in the country, and built that over 33 years to the top 3% in production throughout the United States. And I'm very proud about that. But I did it through the process of relationships and really building that connection. And it was about having that high touch process. And then through that, people were seeing what I was doing and how I was doing it, and was asking me, could I teach them? And that's where I started coaching, and I did it, the where the stories are, you do it for free, and then you do it for $20 or $50 or $100, and it just evolved into what it is today. And now I have the privilege of dealing with people around the world. I never thought I'd write a book, and it wasn't even on my agenda. And now I'm part of 7 books, and my books have gone #1 international on Amazon. The ability to speak on stages throughout the country, actually internationally as well. Did a TEDx speech last year. And really the whole idea is, how can I really reach out and touch one that touches 10, that touches 100. Going back a little bit to what Tonja was just saying, it's not just about the money, but it's about the influence, what the legacy that we're going to be leaving after we're no longer on this plane. And so it's really about, bringing the things that are unique and valuable that we have worked with. And one of the concepts I was talking to someone this morning about is that what we think is ordinary, other people think is extraordinary. And so by doing that, bringing out what we're really good at and be able to share that, that is why I really have evolved now into the coaching, speaking, and writing areas.
That's awesome. And Gary's been my coach for 2 years, and my business has flourished. I've gone from 4 figures a month to 6 figures a month, and it's been great to create multiple businesses. And I think that's one of the things that Gary and I really bring to the table as we're working with a variety of people. For myself, it started in 2009. I became a certified law of attraction coach, and I applied all of those principles, and it was like my life was a game. Here I was, a single mom with 3 kids, having gone through bankruptcy, foreclosure, really struggling to get my footing. And I used the principles of law of attraction and my skill set in marketing and branding. And I ended up working with a company that went from $500,000 a year to $50 million in 2 years, and became a top infomercial host. I wrote one of the most profitable newspaper ads, and just recently was selected an Entrepreneur Influencer Award through the Association of Entrepreneurs, and also selected as an advisory board member for their 6th through 12th grade entrepreneurial program called Champions of Free Enterprise. What I love, and this is my absolute passion, is I live a life that I absolutely love. And what I enjoy most is coaching and working with people to get clear on what they want so that they can start to create that, and give them the tools, the vision, the support, seeing that business for themselves, so we can put that structure together. Yeah. So that that blueprint is solid in place, and we know step by step how we're going to get there. So if you're someone who would like to receive business coaching and mentorship from experts who can show you how to build a $100,000 a year income stream in your niche, this might be for you. And I want to say that it's 2 people who actually do that themselves, that we don't talk about it. It's not something that happened 10 years ago, that it's something that we're doing currently. Would you like to mastermind with peers, people who are growing their business at the same time you are, and design your ideal lifestyle, whatever that may be for you? Would you like to master personal development skills and become a certified impact coach. Is that something that you're interested in? So with our training modules, it's designed to do exactly those things. So first, one of the things that we look at in a 90-minute consultation with both Gary and myself is how are we going to establish your personal brand based on your ideal customer? And what is your brand saying about you? And how can we create and develop that?
One of our goals is to have everyone that's inside the program to be able to get a fast start, to really be able to get a lot of momentum right at the beginning, not have to, slowly get going, but we're going to go at your pace. But what this does, it allows us to know how to serve you.
Yes. And the calls that we've had so far
So fun.
Action steps, and they are like jump started in their business. It's really fun to watch. There's clarity that starts happening right away. And some people are already setting up their group coaching profiles and getting all of that started right from the very first call before the course even starts. And again, we talked about designing your business blueprint for your success. It's not our blueprint, but it's your business blueprint. How to set your fee for greater authority and profit.
That is really a key one because it's about value. Part of what we'll teach everyone is how to transition where people are thinking they're spending money and instead of investing money in you. Because if you have the value that they're wanting and it's something that they need in their business, whether it be a product or a service, and they see it as a value, the fee starts to diminish in importance. The greater benefit is what is the result that they're going to receive. And so we help you actually come up with the words, the verbiage. I was doing that with one of my clients this morning, of transitioning from a cost to an asset on the ledger of the prospective person coming into your business. And by doing so, you have elevated your value, and the fee is commensurate with the value, not with an hourly number, something like that people are used to.
Yes. How to take money. A lot of times we set up group coaching programs, but we're not sure how to set up those recurring payments, exactly how to start bringing money into our business. And, you never know where those little sticky points are the part that we keep resisting. So we get rid of those sticky points and teach you exactly how to do this. How to hire virtual assistants. This was something that Gary taught me early on, and his philosophy was totally different than what I was practicing. And as soon as I understood how to do this, I went from having no virtual assistants or virtual assistants that just weren't working out to having 5 virtual assistants. And that was phenomenal to get that figured out for myself and my business. One of the things Gary really provides, and I have from my long history in business, is what forms you need to operate your business and making sure that you have those templates.
We really want you to have a full program, not just concepts. Go out and create this form, have this, that you need something and go out and find it. We're going to work with you to actually design, give you the tools that you are looking for. You're going to be able to customize them to fit you, but we will give you those templates.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that came up in our call today. Someone had said, hey, I want to do this, but I'm not sure what I should say in my email. Can you help me with that? Absolutely. Let me go grab an email and I'll send one to you that you can copy or make better with your own verbiage.
Customize.
Customize. There's a great word. That's what I was looking for. So, and then as a coach, maybe you're coaching, you haven't been in a formal coaching training before. So bringing our years of experience and how to prepare for a coaching session, how to develop and hone your coaching skills, creating a style that works for you, how to develop your 50 powerful questions. It's really in the active listening. This is one of the things that Gary is such a phenomenal teacher in, that it's so important that we take one full day and cover that in a destination, which we'll talk about a little later in a couple minutes. Again, that active listening for powerful relationships. Do you want to share about that, Gary?
Yes, we have been taught that we're supposed to listen, but how many of us have actually been taught how to listen? Because we're coming in with scripts, we're having the, all of the head trash that we're coming in with. And what we do is actually teach you how to go into any engagement without an agenda, because it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's technically impossible for the brain to listen and think at the same time. We think we're doing it, but it's constantly going back and forth. So as we hear something, if we go into the thinking mode, we're missing everything that that person is sharing with us after they have shared that first little. And so what happens is that active listening actually gives us information that the individual that is speaking to us doesn't even know they're giving us. And it makes it for a more beneficial connection. We become more effective coaches because now we're really starting to deal with the real issue instead of what they think it is or what they think we want to hear. And so active listening is it's a new habit, but once you develop it, it's amazing how people will be drawn to you.
Absolutely. I had one of Gary's coaching clients. She's a friend of mine, and she goes, "That Gary, he listens so good. He doesn't miss a beat." And sometimes I wish he didn't listen so good because I'd like to get away with my stuff. But
I've had people say, "Would you please turn down your ears?"
Yes, it's so powerful. And it's great in all of our relationships, not just our coaching relationships. How to rebook your existing clients, and what to include on your landing page website to really attract people to you. And a lot of, I think, what Gary and I have learned through the years is there's so many different people out there that will tell you how to operate your business. And we really developed a very simplistic style in how to minimize versus create more and more and more things to do in your business. Some of the things that we'll be teaching will actually simplify how you currently might be doing your business. And then on the personal side, the personal development, visualization and meditation, how to get crystal clear on what you want so that you can attract it to you. Out of the Manifesting Mindset weekend that we just had, I have a massage therapist who is attracting clients like crazy. We were supposed to go do a spa weekend or a spa day on Friday. She's like, "I can't, I have too many clients." Another real estate agent has gone from being about a $250,000 to $300,000 a year agent to $750,000, $1.5 million. She listed a house and sold it for more money, cash, within 24 hours. This is just in the last 2.5 weeks since we spent time teaching some of our principles. Creating your business card book and other products. These are lead generation tools and working with you to get your key message down and your calls to action so that it is attracting your ideal customer and you're working more effectively rather than just putting a lot of things out there and spinning your wheels. Passive versus active marketing.
So much of the time we think that we're really busy, and it's not about being busy, it's about being, effective in what we're doing, because time is the thing that we do not have the ability to recreate for ourselves. So I'm really, focused on how do I invest my time? And that really goes into the marketing. Are we doing things like sending out general emails? Are we sending out mass mailings? All those things are good, but at the same time, they're passive. We don't know who receives it. We don't know if they opened it. We don't know if they read it. We have no control over what happens with that message. Where active marketing is where we're actually with people, we're interacting. We have that ability to figure out a process that I call now, later, never. And it's not about my now, later, never. It's about the person that we're speaking with, whether it's their timing or not. And so we have more control over that type of activity than we do in the passive. But one of the reasons I think we have a tendency to go to the passive is that it's less threatening. We can be very busy. We can throw a bunch of stuff out there and feel very good about it. And, there's a technique around this, as well as you can even go to a lot of networking events and it can still be passive. But we're going to show you how to maximize that effort to get a result that, again, is predictable.
How to maximize your time and energy. How to attract clients on social media. Developing your presentation skills. This is another one of those topics that we'll go over more in a destination training event that will either be happening in Los Angeles or Dallas in the upcoming year. And the power of your words. This is one of the things that has made such a difference in my life, is I thought I was speaking powerfully, and Gary is such a great person for really listening and rephrasing things so that your powerful words can create your reality. And that is so important. And I think a lot of what other programs out there miss. They give you all the tools, they tell you how to do it, but they don't actually get into the 6 inches between your ears and work on that mindset piece.
My presentation when I was with Tonja in Dallas for her program was rebooting your brain for success. Literally, this is it. This is the power of the words, because our brain is taking in all of this information and it's going to react and give us that response by what we tell it. Recently, I was on a radio show and the host, we went over just one word, and their agent was sitting in the same room. The agent got what I was saying, and I got an email back from the host saying, I've eliminated that word, and it's already made a difference in my show. It's just amazing, the paying attention just to even a couple of the words that we really pay attention to up front. But as we talk to ourselves, the words are so important, and I think we don't take it for the value that it really has.
Yes, in creating our reality and what we want in our business.
It seems too simple.
Yes, it does. The get statements, the little tweaks on our words and our sentences can be so powerful in really creating anything that we want, not just our business. And when Gary and I were talking about this, one of our intentions is that people get crystal clear on what they want, and that their life just totally expands. They're living in the top echelon of emotions, so that they're anywhere from overwhelmed to joy, because those are positive emotions. It means great things are happening for you. And that if someone creates $100,000 or more income in some other business that they never even thought of when they joined the program, that's great. And just really allowing people to grow and expand through everything that we're teaching. The mechanics of the program is that you receive 2 of those private 90-minute business formulation consultations. One of those happens before the program begins, and the other one will happen about midway, or whenever you feel like, hey, I need to tune up. I really want to get in and hone my business. So that second private 90-minute business formulation is really up to you when we schedule that. You'll receive 3 group training sessions each month. A lot of like what we're doing right now, where we're having a group training session on Zoom. And then the other masterminds that happen will also happen 3 sessions each month. That's the first, second, and third weeks of the month is when you'll have our group and then our peer mastermind. 2 destination training days, one in Dallas, one in LA. And the first one in Dallas will happen towards the end of April. In Los Angeles, it'll be towards the end of September. What we'll be covering are really delving into a lot of what we talked about, the active listening, your time, how to maximize that, how to really become effective as a speaker in building your business. Gary, do you want to share more about those?
Sure. You know, one of the training, because they're 2 days each, and it's how to really, it's called the art of business connection. How do we connect with the personalities? How do we read another person, how they relate to the world? Are they auditory, visual, kinesthetic? Are we using the right words again so that they understand us? Because it's our obligation to use their language, not their obligation to understand ours. And so we really go into in depth on how to really fine tune our ability to read body language, to read the way that that person is put together. And then on the other one where we're going to be dealing with how to present, whether it's a one-on-one or in a small group on a big stage, it doesn't matter. We want to give you the tools on how to connect with your audience, one to many. And because of this, again, it's about being, there's three things that I teach as far as how to be successful in any business. And it's, number one is to be seen, number two, be safe, and number three, to be relevant. And by really taking those three elements over these 2 destination training days, actually the 4, we're going to give you all the tools that Tonja and I actually use on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I mean, we're on the radio where, I mean, Tonja, you've had 2 or 3 radio shows in the last month. I had 2 this week. And so how do we connect with an audience sometimes that we don't even see? And how to really come out to where people see us as being seen, safe, and relevant.
Great. And then ongoing support via email and Facebook group, making sure that you have the support that you need to be most effective, and that if there are any time that there's a breakdown or getting stuck, that we move through that as quickly as possible so we can continue to move forward.
One of the things that Tonja and I spoke about as we were putting this program together is that we've all been a part of, at least Tonja and I have been a part of some very high-powered, exclusive type of programs. And part of the lack in some of those programs is that you don't really have a lot of touches with the person that you're wanting to learn from. And we put a lot of touches into this program. We literally are walking with you through it. And so when you see these different trainings and the ways to attach and to connect with us, and we really want you to get the result. And that's why we put so much of us inside this training.
Yes. And then again, those contracts and tools to support you in business. Whatever we can provide that's going to shortcut your road to success. We're here about getting you where you want to be as quickly as possible. I think that's extremely important. It's not like getting to the end of the program and now, oh, here, now you get your business and now you get to go create all that. We are creating that business with you every step of the way. So if you choose to be certified at the end of the program, and we have people, we start officially on October 17th. We've already had people who are starting to do their coaching sessions. And in order to receive that impact certification, the coach impact certification, it requires 70 coaching hours. That is in good faith. You let us know that you've had those hours. It can be peer coaching for the first 3 months. That means people who are in your peer group or people who are in the program. And that can be up to 20 hours of your 70 coaching hours. You can use those hours. 20 of those coaching hours, and it's actually quite simple. You'll get a free conference calling line or some other type of recording, and you'll record those sessions and have them transcribed. Have about 20 minutes transcribed. Bless you. Have those moments transcribed so that Gary and I can actually listen to them and provide constructive critique. And it's with the full intent of making you the best coach possible, giving you the training and the feedback that you need to really go to the next level. And that's a great benefit to anybody, whether you've been a coach for 20 years or a coach for 20 minutes.
This is something that we really were very focused on doing, because again, when you graduate and you have the certification, Tonja and I want to know for sure that you have the tools and the ability to be an effective coach. And everyone that's coming in really has that desire for themselves as well. Because once you have that CIC designation, you not only represent yourself, but you're representing us. So that's why we're putting this extra time and effort into this piece of the certification process, because we really want to know that you have that, we want to know that we've given you everything possible for you to be an effective coach to those that you connect with.
Absolutely. And then it requires attendance on all of the group calls. You can have up to 6 of those calls be recorded. So each of our training calls will be recorded. You'll have access to those all throughout the year. If for some reason you can't make a call, then you'll go in and listen to the recorded call, and you can do that up to 6 times. And it does require attendance on all of your peer mastermind calls, because those you can collaborate with your peers to make sure that everybody can be on the call.
And one of the reasons that we do this is that in your peer group, if 1 or 2 people are not there, the other people, it's not just impacting you that you're not in the group and receiving the benefit, but they're also not receiving the benefit of you being in the group. And so it really is a collaborative effort on everyone's part, and that's what makes the peer mastermind also so effective and critical to the process.
Yes. So the agreements are quite simple. It's just about agreeing to full participation. You agree that we have the right to record the sessions so that we can provide those for everyone, that you'll complete all of the weekly activities, and that's around coaching hours and creating some small statistics, being on the calls. Communicate if you need support or mentoring as quickly as possible, not wallowing and being stuck, but actually committed to having that breakthrough and moving through the program as quickly and easily as possible. And that you'll be on time and respectful for all of the coaching and peer calls that we have. And that you will powerfully complete the program. There's a difference between powerfully completing and being the victim of the program. And we invite you to complete powerfully. We know that this is going to be an incredible program for everybody who chooses to come in and apply themselves and what they're here to get and really participate fully. Our promise, I love this. Gary, you want to share these?
Yeah, this is where we wanted to not have this cookie cutter process to where everybody comes in and everybody's the same as they come out. This is not IBM where we're all going to be in blue suits and a red tie. It really is about you as an individual, you creating your specialty, your niche, your process with a framework that is consistent with being an effective coach. So I have found in coaching clients in all industries in different countries is that the internal workings of that process is the same. But where we get to customize is how we relate to that information and disseminate it to the public. And so you're going to have that combination there that is so important. And it's not a franchise or template. This is a individual. This is something that you're going to be able to say that when you come out, it's like I have one of my daughter-in-laws is going into medicine. She just went into medical school. Well, they all go in wearing white coats, but they come out as an individual doctor. That's exactly what we're doing here.
And that it really is unique. We're going to develop your business plan based on your business and what you want to achieve. That is so critical to what we're doing. And that you'll develop interpersonal skills, both in listening and in speaking, learning this in such a way that you actually attract people to you. that you become that people magnet and you realize that there are more people looking for you than you're looking for them, and how to be real, to be a true value for people in your niche market, and that you'll complete with the skills that will last you a lifetime.
These skills are, I think Tonja had actually mentioned it a few minutes ago. It's not just about business, it's about relationships, it's about ourselves, physical, mental, spiritually. It's all areas of our lives that this is going to have an impact on.
So this is a gift to you, and I love this. Gary brought this out at his last boot camp in Denver, Colorado, and it just puts everything into perspective of how we can go about creating that $100,000 a year or more business. Gary, you want to share?
Sure. You know, the way I came up with this is people were coming up to me and saying, wow, $100,000, it seems so big. I don't know if I could ever reach that amount. And so I sat down one day and said, okay, what are the things that are fairly common within a coaching practice, a facilitator, and what could be created to create that $100,000? And so I looked at, most people will have a book. If you had a $15 book, you need to have 556 people invest in your book. And that may be a little bit of a daunting number, but when you're on stages, and we will teach you how to have people purchase your book to be able to give them into the audience, it's really a doable number. But then a continuity program, a program where you get together with your peeps, the people that want to gather the information, the value you have on a monthly basis. And I put 3 different numbers here: a $27 a month investment from someone. You need 309 people a month in that program to generate 100,000. If it's $47, it's 178 to generate the $100,000. If you're doing $97 a month, you only need 86 people. 86 people in the world. Is there 86 people in the world that sees the value of what you have to offer, that's going to make a difference in their life, that is going to now generate you $100,000? Going into the coaching model, whether it's a $297 a month, $497 a month, or $997 a month, we're not going to, tell you what your fees should be. I just wanted to give you a overview of what it could be. So in $297, only 29 people in the world, if they're connecting with you, getting a value from you, that's going to give you $100,000 a year. $497, 17. $997, 9. I mean, we're talking about 9 people in the world. It's an amazing connection. In the last 30 days, I've had 2 people call me and enter that program at $997. It is something that is doable. It is something that happens every single, well, I shouldn't say every single day, but it happens a lot, both for Tonja and myself. Getting into the speaking arena, if you're doing a $2,500 speaker fee, you need 4 per month. Speaker fee of $5,000, you need, actually, it's a little less than 2 per month. So when I looked at this, it actually surprised me, because I started buying into what other people were telling me. Oh, golly, it's going to be such a big number, I'm going to wear myself out. But in many coaching programs, let's go to there for a second, is that you're going out and you have, let's take the 497, 17 people. And Tonja, we didn't do this last time, so I'm going to do it this time. So 17 people, and let's say, the average time you spend with that person, maybe 5 hours a month. And so that's 85 hours. What are you going to do on the other half of your work life? That's only 2 work weeks out of the month. Are you going to go play? You don't have to work. You've already created your $100,000 lifestyle. What are you going to do with it? And so we're not talking about overworking. It's actually working less to receive more. And so it goes back to getting predictable results for activity and value that you have to give to the world.
I love this. So do you have any questions or anything that pops up for you after what you've just seen?
I ask again, are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to
All
you.
the people. No, you have it outlined really well. Are you starting in January?
We're starting October 17th is our starting date. And
Nice.
we go Monday nights, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern.
Super. Well, I took a few notes. You haven't mentioned what you're charging for this, or if you did, I was so engrossed in what you were saying, I missed that.
Okay. So the investment is $9,997 for the year, or $997 per month.
Yeah.
And
I've got to build enough of a business. I mean, literally, when I said I had played around and hadn't been doing much, that's exactly what I meant. And so I kind of had this isn't a question, this is a statement. Is that okay?
Yes.
Well, I kind of, was doing the personal history thing, but I found that it was too passive really for me. And in this particular area, although there's a lot of money, a lot of the people have already worked on that. And I haven't been very good because I didn't realize the need to convince them that writing their personal stories that was a different project than writing their personal history. That I was born and then we moved and my dad lost his job and that, those kinds of things. Because what I wanted was something that was more active, telling the stories of your life that lead to the lessons of your life that make you who you are. So there's a little bit of a therapy component to it because it's about mindset. What did you learn about money? And how has that affected you? What are your own what do you think are your strengths? Where did you learn that? So it's, who are you? Where did you learn it? What are your core values? What would you die for? And who taught you that? So it's more of, kind of in your head, and it's a head and heart connection rather than a recitation of a series of events. And that suits me better because I like that component of just, we go along and we're just who we are until somebody says, maybe you could be different, or are you really sure, or how's that working out for you? Well, I never get this, or I never do that, or I haven't achieved, or whatever people say about their story when they're not in love with it, because they don't see the value of what didn't go right from their perspective today. And we can reframe that in a way that helps to validate their experience and add credibility for themselves to their life story. So it isn't, so they don't say, well, there's nothing special about me. Go ahead.
So inside of this model that you've created, how is that working for you business-wise?
Well, we're about to find out, because I just couldn't quite get focused on when the first thing didn't work the way I wanted and had expected it to. That was like by spring after I got here and resettled. And it just didn't seem like people, I gave a couple of presentations and they were, oh, that's so exciting. You were so exciting. Oh, I loved what you said. But it didn't translate into clients because the venue in which I gave the presentations were not, I could give a call to action, but it had to be general. It wasn't like, call me, we'll set up an appointment and let's review what you got, what you want to do with it. So
what's your biggest block in your business right now?
Pardon me?
What is your biggest block in your business right now?
Well, until the last month, it's been not knowing exactly which direction to go with what I kind of wanted to do, and it didn't work out. And that I realized the reason it didn't work out was because it wasn't what I really wanted to do.
Right.
So it sounded good on paper, but it didn't translate well through me and my real area of interest. And then I happened just to hear this guy on TV, and he teaches storytelling, but he teaches you how to tell the story of your life by telling you some of the stories he's heard. And my ultimate goal now, because I didn't have a long-term vision. It was just like generate some income and make life so you're not like panic stricken on the 15th of the month, because you don't get paid till the 28th. And so what he does now, because he's been doing this for a while and he's very good, he actually has retreats. And I haven't looked up what he charges or anything, but I did. It was just so funny. I saw him speak on a recorded program that could have really been recorded 5 years ago, for all I know, on a cable TV channel. And then the next thing I knew, I was up at my daughter's in Provo, and somehow or another, I don't even know how I found out about it. There was this, there's this big international organization called the Storyteller Festival. And they have 3-day events in different places around the US. I had never heard of them. And so they were right there. I mean, I could have walked practically to where they were holding this event. So I went for one day, and it was so fun to see what a big audience of people there were that came just to hear these people tell stories. And I thought, I've been telling stories since I was 5 years old, when my brother was born. And it just kind of resonated through me. And so anyway, what this Bob, whatever his name is, Davis, does is now he brings people, or people come to his home in North Carolina, I think, and they sit around for 4 or 5 days in a group, and they tell their stories, and then he helps them pull that out from what he calls, the attic of the mind. And then they talk about how that helped them be who they are and how that story has impacted their life. And I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to sit around in an intimate setting with 5 to 8 people and have us talk about their story and help them develop it even more. So it's kind of like fall in love with your story.
Right. So you're clear on that part, but you're not clear on how to make it a business. And in the situation you're in that you've described, you need to get clear on what that business structure is going to be. Correct?
The immediate money is going to come from me getting out and talking about. I'm working with a woman right now on a book, and nothing fabulous, not the next American novel or the best business book ever, but that will help build credibility. And in the meantime, I said, is there really a market for this? And she said, oh my gosh, there is, but you have to let people know. So it's tough, because I don't want it just to be all, heady, not all heart stuff. I'm practical enough to know that I want a business component. So it's about teaching people and making them aware that their story in their business is really valuable to creating loyal clients.
Right. So we have Mike on the call. Mike, how are you?
Good.
We are just wrapping up.
What?
So, 8:00 Central Standard Time.
Okay. At least I made it.
Yes.
At least you're here. Great to see you.
I thought it said 8:00 Mountain Time. Oh, well. What do I know?
So
it's the altitude.
That's okay.
Just to let you know, if you want more information or if you'd like to register, there's 100kimpactcoach.com.
Okay.
And take a look at that. If you decide it's something that you'd like to do, right as soon as you register, you'll receive an email to schedule your first private 90-minute
Okay.
consultation.
Perfect. That'll be great. It may just be a smidge early, but if you start this in October, then are you going to reopen it on a 6-month basis, or do you not reopen it till a year from now, or?
We'll have another opening in May of 2016.
Okay.
We'll start probably March, April.
Okay. See, that would fit my plan for what I have now, just to get out and build, enough income to afford the next coaching group.
Great.
You guys, it's awesome to see you.
Great to see you too.
And it's so much more fun to think about working with people I already know than starting that from the beginning. And I will tell people about this as I'm out and about. That's why I took some of the notes.
Oh, wonderful.
Because it's easy for me to recommend you or refer people to you if they're looking for a more in-depth coaching program.
Thank you, PK. Greatly appreciate.
Happy to do that.
All right. Any other questions?
I'm the last guy on the list.
So with that, I'm going to stop the recording and end the call. And great to see you, and we will see you next week, an hour earlier, Mike, if you want to jump on.
Wednesday, an hour earlier.
Just now.
Not a week earlier.
A week and 1 hour
Okay.
earlier.
Sorry about that. Means I can go to bed now.
All right.
Get some rest.
Great to see you guys. You take care.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.